Okay, we're looking at Giorgio Pelissero's wines today from Piedmonte. We're looking at the entry-level examples of what he produces. They do about 250,000 bottles a year, so roughly about 20,000 cases, which is not a huge amount of wine relative to what Italy produces. And they export to about 50 different countries around the world. So the wines are spread thin, and we had to battle to get any at all from him. But Antonio Galoni of Wine Spectator rates Pelissero's products as some of the best in Piedmont. And relative to its prices, relative to its neighbours, it seems to be a strong buy proposition. It's a lot less expensive for some reason, but the ratings are quite stratospheric. We're looking today at two from Alba, the Pelissero Turin 2009 and the Piano 2009. Turin's 89 points from Galoni, and the Piano is 93 points. So fair difference in what the critics have got to say about it, and also the pricing. But we'll go through that in a second. Barbera, which is obviously the main predominant grape in this one, is losing the race to Nobilio to quite a large degree in Italy. It's less and less. Its market share seems to be dissipating a little bit. But it represents certainly a step up for me personally from the Chiantis. I'm quite attracted to the rustic kind of components in it, which reminds me a lot of what comes out of Australia stylistically sometimes. And the fruit is really, really good as a rule. So let's take a look. So we'll do the less expensive one first, the Turin. This is the first time he's produced it. Geez, that's dark colour. First time he's produced this particular Barbera Alba from the Turin vineyard. So looking at the colour itself, it's impossible to do it really against the video, but it's really intriguing. It's very murky and purple and inky. Let's take a look at the Piano at the same time. I would say at a glance I'm getting more of a sheen, more of a raw, fresh colour out of the Turin, and the Piano is already starting to show a little bit of brown, not brown in a negative way, but there's more of that earthy kind of colouring coming out of the colour of the Turin, of the Piano. So nose, masses of fruit. Geez, it's such ripe fruit. It's just bursting. It's running at you. You could almost equate it to Barossa, like really good young Barossa Shiraz in terms of its aggression, but that's where it ends. It has a far softer, nuanced flavour profile than a lot of the Barossa Shirazes. It's less about that just smack black pepper dark fruit. There's more of a floral direction coming here, but a lot of super rich, super ripeness. Yeah, this is more muted. It's excuse me, more elegant. I hate the word. More refined. I'm dying to see what the difference in terms of tannic structure and balance is between these, but I've got a real strong feeling this one's going to be a lot more developed than this one, which is incredibly energetic and nervy, I guess racy, or one of those sort of descriptions. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Thick, viscous texture, coats the whole of your mouth. The length is good. It's dense. It's not an Amaronian density, but it's a dense, full, rich style. They always go on about these kinds of wines desperately needing food, and this is an example of it. It's big and rich and full. I'm super excited for the Australian and the Australian Shiraz drinkers and the South African Cabernet drinkers to get a look at this, because it's going in a different direction. Obviously more elevated in terms of its aromatics and phenolics, but really, really exceptionally interesting. Young, exuberant. Lighter, more lifted, but that same stamp of assurity and density is there. Doesn't coat the tongue quite as much as the other, but this is definitely qualitative. I can see why this is sitting at 89 points and why the Piano is at 93 points. This is seriously good wine. So we're looking at about a $48 price tag for the for the 93 pointer and about a $37 price tag for the Piano. I think it's super interesting to look at both of them because it's going to give you an idea of what happens as you go into the top end of very, very good Barbera D'Alba. I'm excited to taste both of these. One thing I'd say is decant them if you can. We'll probably taste them all through the afternoon and look at them again and again. But they're super good wines and really good price point. So, cheers.